What's up guys, it's NashCrafter and welcome to my channel for a brand new episode here on the decidedly vanilla server. Today we're doing something that's a tad bit interesting. Guys, today's episode is gonna start with a bit of a bang, and I mean that quite literally. We are gonna be starting today's episode with a little bit of TNT. So I am going to flip around and we're gonna get this started. It's gonna be a little bit different, a little bit weird, but trust me, I'm going to explain everything right after this happens. Okay guys, so that was a very, very anticlimactic TNT explosion extravaganza. That was bad. That was so terrible. I didn't realize, like, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't use TNT. I've never used TNT before in the game because, like, I've never had a reason to blow something up. I tried and it failed miserably. A lot of this ended up being, like, pretty blast proof, honestly. This wasn't what I was expecting whatsoever. Let's go inside and see. Okay, so it blew up, like, quite a bit of, you know, this stuff. But basically what I wanted to get at by blowing up this build is I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about building in general. I guess I'm trying to think of where I want to start with this topic because there's something that I just want to explain to you guys. So I built this build off camera. It was something that I kind of wanted to use as a template for the rest of my builds. And I was thinking, oh, like after I built it, I was like, wow, this looks so good. And then I was just like, I really like this. But there was something that was kind of, I noticed that was on my mind. And actually what we're going to do is we are going to deconstruct this as we kind of talk about this because I want this to be gone, obviously, because I tried to blow it up. I don't mean anything bad by this. And actually my pick is going to break and I do not have mending, or my axe is going to break and I don't have mending on it. So we're going to have to make a new one really quick. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about was building, and I'm sure you guys have gone through these phases while you're building in Minecraft and you're thinking, I've been building the same thing over and over and over again. Now, some of you might not have this experience. Some of you guys might think, I've built so many like crazy random things and I kind of want a style. I wish I had a building style because I just build random different things every time. And I think that's so cool. I think that's awesome. I think both have the good things and the bad things about them. But what I'm trying to get at with blowing up this build is, as of recently, I've been feeling like I've been doing the same style of build a lot. And that is the medieval Tudor fantasy. Which is great. It's an amazing style. I obviously love building in it. I do love building it because it's really fun. It's really cool. In my opinion, you can get really creative with it. And that's why I like it so much, is because it's a style that, like, always kind of has a set way of doing it. And although I think that's good, I think having a style can be really amazing in Minecraft because it can set you apart from other builders. There's also some kind of downsides to it because I've just been noticing recently that I've been building the same style house for most all of my builds. I'm getting burnt out of it. Almost. Like, I feel like I've just done it so much and all of my builds are starting to look the same. And I haven't really gotten to play with any new styles or new building techniques or anything like that. And so that's kind of what I wanted to go at by exploding this build, is I want to start fresh. I want to try something new. I want to try a new building style. I don't want to do a Tudor style. I don't want to do you know, oak and stone brick. That's not what I want for these builds in this area, and that's not what I wanted from the start. But I think because I have this kind of muscle memory of doing these types of builds, that's automatically what my brain went to, and I built this house. And although it looks amazing, it's a really cool house, it's not what I want. It's just not the style that I was going for to begin with. I wanted to do something different. And the main point I'm trying to get at for you guys mainly is don't be afraid to get rid of a build that you don't necessarily think fits. And I know that sometimes this can be scary because it's like, well, I just spent hours building this crazy build and it looks good, but it doesn't necessarily fit in with my village or my town or the idea of what I was going with. And I've done this in the past where I just keep it. I keep the build, and every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, that just doesn't fit. Like, it doesn't look right. I hope you guys know what I'm trying to come at and say by this. But the main thing I'm trying to get at is don't be afraid to get rid of something if it's not exactly what you want. Because in Minecraft, we have like an endless amount of blocks. It's a sandbox. We can do anything we want. I've been stuck in this funk of just using oak wood and stone brick and doing Tudor and doing the same roof patterns over and over. And although that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's not a bad thing at all. Not what I want for this particular series. For this series, I would like to branch out. I would like to do something very different and see what I can do, especially because we have like the new concrete blocks. And something I've always been afraid of in Minecraft is color. And I know that might sound weird, but like we have these vibrant colored concrete blocks, and I continuously seem to stick with the oak wood, the stone brick or cobblestone, and white. So white concrete, bone block, like this is bone block. Those are kind of the three colors I stick with, but we have this whole area to adventure and try new things and try new colors and try new designs and decorations. And you guys know I wanted to do fantasy. And when I looked at this build, I thought, okay, yeah, there's some elements of fantasy, but I don't look at that and think fantasy. I look at that and think medieval Tudor. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys don't have this problem and you're like, hey, I do that all the time. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But for me personally, I've always experienced having a little bit of kind of doubt in starting a new thing because you don't know if it's going to work out or if it's going to look good. I am going to finish deconstructing this build because it is going bye-bye. We are doing something completely different with this area. I want you to see this as excitement. I don't want you to see this as me being disappointed or sad or mad at myself because I didn't build something the way I wanted to. I'm taking this as an opportunity to kind of be excited and be like, wow, I had this realization. I seriously was thinking, I'm just going to leave the build. I'm just going to leave it and it's going to stick out like a sore thumb and it's not going to fit, and that's fine. But then I really thought about it and I was like, that's not going to make me happy. That's not what's going to make this whole area look cohesive. It's not going to pull it together. Like I said, guys, I'm going to deconstruct this thing. It's going to take me quite a little while, but we'll come back together. I think for today's episode, we are actually going to start planning the castle. So I am so excited. It's going to be crazy. I will be right back with you guys once I've got all of this gone and good. All right, guys. So I have just started deconstructing this, and I totally forgot to mention that back there, you guys are probably wondering about my beacon situation. So in the last episode, I didn't have a beacon, and now I have 4. I have a quad beacon here. I spent a little bit of time. We have a wither skeleton farm here on the server, and Pix and Awuga are actually on as well. So I've been talking to them a little bit here and there. But yeah, quad beacons, guys. I spent, like I said, a little bit of time at the wither skeleton farm. I got myself enough to get 4, or I got myself enough to, well, we killed 1 wither in a previous episode, and then I killed 3 more withers off camera, but I actually did record it. So I'm going to roll those clips right here, right now, so you guys can see me killing 3 withers. And yeah, there we go. We set up the beacon, and I just put it right here because we are going to be constructing the castle soon. I probably am going to be moving these beacons a little bit closer, and I think I actually might be separating them as well. Either we're going to separate them or we are going to get more beacons, which sounds kind of crazy, but actually it's going to look really cool in this area. Ooh, something I want to do is I have picked out a color scheme for what I want this new fantasy kind of idea to look like. And I was thinking we could do blue, like blues, pinks, and purples. And I think that would be such a cool, like, it would just be really cool colors to do fantasy with because I think they look really good together. So I am back in the Cirque's dye shop because we're going to need some dye. You guys know we just talked about all those cool colors that we're going to need for the glass and for the rest of the builds. So we've got some magenta dye here. He is stacked up, so it's 1 diamond per stack. I think I'm going to take 3 stacks of this. So that'll get us quite a bit, a little bit to start us out. I think that's good. And then let's see. We'll also need some light blue. So we'll take 2 of those. And then we'll need a little bit of purple as well. So I'm just going to do 1 there and 1 there. I hope that's okay that I just put them in the slots because there's a payments chest, but I want to make sure I like show what I'm buying. So I put them in I don't know. I'm sorry, Cirque. I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, we're going to leave. We are going to walk away now. We've got all the buffs. We've got jump 2, speed 2, strength, regeneration, and haste. But I do need to deconstruct this a little bit more. I've been slowly working on this here and there. And what I want to do is get this fully gone. I will be back with you guys very soon. We are going to start. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to plan this castle. It's going to be so awesome, so epic, and so crazy. It's going to be a huge project. I take on a lot of huge projects, but I love them because they give me like a lot to think about, a lot to focus on, a lot to look forward to. So I like big projects, but yes, I have a lot of work to do. I will be back with you guys very shortly. Alright guys, so I'm back and I'm waiting for my glass to smelt up so that I can get my dyed beacon colors over here. But what I thought we would do is we would start on the castle. So I don't really have a set plan for how I want to do this. I'm just going to use netherrack because I have like a freakish amount of netherrack. So I figured we would use this just to kind of map out where we want to start and where we want things to go. So it is going to be built in the side of this mountain. And what I was thinking is this is a pretty nice like central area here. So I was thinking this is where the main point's going to be. And basically it's going to be a huge sort of dome, but it's going to be more of a pointed dome. I was thinking maybe if we start like here, we could have maybe a 5 wide staircase that kind of runs all the way up and into the side of this mountain. So this is what 5 would look like if we went up by 5. And this is going to look really not great right now because it's made of netherrack, but it's going to be something like that. And I think that's a pretty good height to start it out. And then I think it should have maybe like a walkway, like you can walk a bit forward, and then it's actually going to start into this giant like cone dome type thing and go back into the mountainside. So that's going to be really cool. Let's see if we can make this work. Okay, so I think I've got this laid out. I think I like that. It's going to go up and then it's going to go out even more on the sides, and it's going to be like a really, really grand hallway. So what I'm thinking is this is going to be where you kind of walk up and then you're like, whoa, okay, this build is huge. So it's going to have, let's see, how do we want to do this? I think starting maybe here. So I think what I want to do is this is out by 9, I believe. Yeah, this is out by 9. So I think what we should do is we should go out by, I think we should go out by 15. So that's going to be this big, and then kind of going back into the mountain, it's going to be like this, and it's going to go up in this giant dome, and it's even going to open up more once you get inside. It's just going to have these walls that kind of pillar up like this. Okay, there we go. Those probably aren't even, but just to get the point across, oh, they are, I believe, maybe that one might be taller, I don't know, but just so you guys can kind of see, that is where I think it's gonna start. I almost want to go bigger. Oh gosh, I almost want to go one out on each side. And I kind of want to recess it a little bit more back, I think. It's looking a little too like it's stuck out of the mountain, which isn't a bad thing. It's just not quite what I wanted. And this is probably going to change quite a lot. This is just getting like a good feel and a good idea for how I want to do this. And I do want this room to be really big, so we're actually going to go out by 2 on each side, I think. Yeah, there we go. I definitely like that size a little bit better for the grand hallway. Now, the grand hallway is going to be the main part of the castle, and basically from the town over here, you can pretty much see into the grand hallway, sort of. There's going to be a little bit of things like decoration covering it, so you can't like perfectly see what's in the grand hallway, but it's going to be like this big open archway and this big dome that kind of towers up, and then it has like all these towers coming off on the sides and things like that. Now guys, I've never built a castle before, so I don't know the first thing about building a castle, but I'm just kind of hoping that I do this right. I'm just hoping that it kind of looks good no matter what. But it's a little nerve-wracking because I haven't done this before, so I'm hoping I can make it work and make something you guys think is really cool. But with that being said, that is gonna have to end today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next episode here on the Decidedly Vanilla server. I hope you all have a very beautiful, wonderful day. I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.